as I was doing a couple of things, but it is what it is. It's the way it is how it is. But it's all good because it all works together for good. So we are grateful to God for such an awesome and powerful privilege for us to be able to come together. And I'm trying to, oh, yeah, there we go. Trying to make sure that I have all the way it needs to be as the pages begin to come up. I just want to make sure I got it all together, that's all. And by doing so, that gives me a great opportunity to be able to make sure that I'm lined up properly. So, let me say good evening to you. Thank God for those of you who are here with us on this evening, and the Lord has blessed you to and allowed you to be a part of this moment where we continue to grow in the knowledge of the Lord. Nancy, I see you. Cora, bless you. Thank you so much for being with us on this day. And again, grateful, thankful to God for each and every one of you. I'm bringing up some other stuff here so I can make sure I have this all together as these pages come up. And thankful again for such an awesome privilege and opportunity for you to be a part of our learning experience on today. Let me do something else here. Good evening, Carletta. Lisa, I see you as you are coming on board with us. There we go. I think this is good enough. I'm just going to, well, it's doing what it wants to do. And so we're thankful to God. Oh, there's more comments. I didn't realize that. Oh, quite a few comments. Jemison, Sister Thomas, good to see you. Gina, bless the Lord for you. Um, that's right. I hope. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Now that's a shame. Oh, let me see. What am I doing? I am on the wrong page, but I see you, Veronica and Kathy. I see you as you are coming on. I'm going to have to pull these other pages up because it pulled up the snapshot instead of actually pulling up what we're doing for tonight. Now that was amazing. Gladys Jemison, Elder Boundary, thank God for those of you who are with us. Let me pull up one more page. More sound. Okay. Um, Let me do this. See if I got this together. Now that was amazing. Absolutely, completely, and totally amazing to see that I wasn't on the right page. Okay, mine's Daryl. Good evening to you. I got one more page to pull up for whatever reason. It doesn't want to do it, so let me do something here. See if I can make it work. So let's see what we got. Here we go. That's the reason why I really like to get on ahead of time. That way, I'm able to fix any flaws or craziness that might be happening, and there's always something crazy that happens. Okay? And so we're grateful to God. I see you. Okay, Carletta, Lisa, Linda, Minister Sarah, Minister Faye, Erica, Ayana, Thea, Ella May, Denise. Thank y'all for being here with us on tonight. I was told that I need more volume, so I'm going to take a look at this and I see what that is. Let me go ahead and adjust all of this good stuff to see what I can come up with to try to help us out just a little bit and make that work just a tad bit better. And so please let me know if that has corrected that situation with the volume, and then we can go from there. Okay? That was amazing. Minister Michael, how are you? Debbie, good to see you. Praying for you, praying with you. Barbara, thank you for being here with us on tonight. Please share, please share. Hit that share button, okay? Sandra, I see you. Thank God for Lavernon. Bless you for being, and those that are on our YouTube page, thank you so much for sharing and with us tonight. So we want to make sure that we have as soon as I get this right, because this isn't acting right either. Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. There we go. Okay, good evening, Tom. Bless you. Thank you. Gaither, Tyrone, good to have you with us. Good to see okay, the volume is better. Okay, good. Good. I wanted to make sure. I was waiting on somebody to tell me that it was. Sister Gendrette, bless you. Myrna, good to have you with us. And so that we can go from there. Electronics is so amazing in that you can, thank you so much, appreciate that, Carletta, that you can have the apparatus working perfectly, shut it down, bring it back up, boom. Next thing you know, it has a mind of its own. So we try to do what we can to make sure that we are able to share. Please share. That's right, Valerie. If you don't mind, would you please be so kind to share? We would appreciate that so very, 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 very much. Okay. Debbie, I got the message concerning you, and we are praying for you. And I believe, Barbara, you're the same. My ears are deaf. You know what, Barbara? Hush. Hush. Okay. All right. Let me take care of that and make sure that we have everything just right. And then we should be good after I do that. All right. Thank you again for being here and being a part of our learning experience for tonight. All right. Please share. Hit that share button. Hit that share button. Get that out to as many people as you possibly can as we continue to grow in the knowledge of the Lord. All right. Moving into a new direction. Okay. Janet, bless the Lord for you. We love you, and we're so glad that that surgery went well, and that we are looking and believing God for full recovery. Watch God work. Watch God work. Watch God work. What time is it? Okay. Please, yes, yes, yes. Please share. Please share. Please share. Please share. Please share. Please share. Thank you, Gladys. Thank you so much for doing that. I don't know what you do on YouTube. Winnie, bless you. Thank you for being here with us as well. But I think there's something you do on YouTube. I can't remember what it is. I'm waiting on somebody to tell me, and then you're able to get that out. Well, let me, Rhonda. Good evening to you. Bless you, each and every one of you. And so, I want to look at something. I want to look at something a little bit different. I want to look at something that's probably a little more challenging than maybe what we have dealt with in the past. And I pray that it is a blessing to you as we continue to grow in the knowledge of the Lord. How do we turn some things around? Katrina, good evening to you. Kim, bless you. Okay. How do we turn it around? I want us to think about this for just a moment. Now, some things will not change. Let's not play games with that. I'm not talking about there's some things that are going to happen no matter what. But what can I do as a believer in Jesus Christ, not as a church attender or a church attendee, but what can I do? Sylvia Scott, good evening to you. What can I do to make things better? What can I do so that I can live life to the fullest? You know, we hear these cliches all the time about living life to the fullest. What does that actually mean? What does that? Carolyn Williams, you're speaking. I mean, you're typing in your Rwanda African language. I don't know what that is. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love it, Carolyn. That was funny. I was like, I immediately had a back to Africa moment when I saw what you had typed up there on today. Okay, share on YouTube. Okay, that's what we need you to do. Please share, please share, please share, please share, please share. How do I turn it around? How do I deal? How do I I see you on YouTube, Katrina. Thank you so much. How do I manage life so that life is not managing me? How do I go through these things in life and I don't allow it to rip me apart. I don't allow it to completely and totally destroy my life or how I'm living or the way I live or in how do I deal with that? Because I believe this is so important. Elder Pamela Mansell, bless you. Thank you for being with us on this evening. What do I do? What are the things that I need to challenge? I see my union page is not responding. So that is amazing. So I'm going to try something. There it goes. All right, and let's see what happens from there. And so, Sister Thomas, how are you? From Hey, Deacon Thomas, bless you. Thank you so much for being with us. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, there's a passage of scripture that we're going to look at on tonight, and I pray that it's a blessing to you. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 15 through 20. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 15 through 20. And I'm seeing that my union page is freezing. Oh, now that's fascinating. Looks like I'm going to have to go someplace else to deal with that. I forgot to clean some things out, so I'm having some technical difficulties with Union's page, but I'm okay with mine. That's wild. That's wild. I guess because the enemy is upset, mad, and crazy because you getting ready to learn something maybe that's going to help you. Marcus, what's up, sir? Bless you for being with us. Let me read it. Can I read it? And then once I read it, then we can go through it. Let's see what happens. See, I have set before you today life and good, death and evil. In that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, his statutes, and his judgments, that you may live and multiply. And the Lord your God will bless you in the land in which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away, so you do not hear and draw away and worship other gods and serve them, I announce to you today that you shall surely perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which you crossed over the Jordan to go in to possess. I call heaven and have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore, choose life, that both you and your descendants may live. Oh, wait a minute. Did y'all? I don't think y'all caught that. Let me continue on. That you may love the Lord your God, and that you may obey his voice, and that you may cling to him, for he is your life and the length of your days, that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give. I want to look at something. I want us to look at something, and I hope you're ready for this. I pray that you're ready. You're not noticing any issues. Okay, it's probably on my end because it came up and said that my page wasn't running. But we're going to press on because obviously the machine is doing what it needs to do on your end. It's basically on mine's. This is what God does for us. Is he sets before us choices. Oh, oh, choices. He says, I want to put something before you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out before you things for you to take a look at, things for you to ponder over, things for you to examine, things for you. Okay, thank you so much. Things for you to choose how you want to live. Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? I think it's a pertinent question right now. How do you want to live the rest of your life? How do you want to live? What kind of life, Veronica, do you want to live for the number of days, years that God still has in store for you? Erica, how do you want to live? Marcus, how do you want to live? Linda, Sister Thomas, how? What kind of life do you want to have? What's the interactions that you want to have? What are the exciting moments in life that you want? What kind of life do you want to enjoy? Now, when I say stuff like that, for some of us, we immediately go to money. We immediately go to wealth. We immediately go to those other things. But money is not everything. Yes, money can do a whole lot of things. It can have you do things. It can have you go places. It can have you buy things. But I know people who have money who are not happy, who are not satisfied, who are miserable and been out of shape all the time. I wish I had 5 people that caught what I said. Did y'all catch what I said? This is important for us to see, to recognize, and to grasp, because you can have all the money in the world and still be miserable, still be bent out of shape, still be tore up, still not be happy, still be miserable, still be despondent. And so money cannot always be what you need. But how do you want to live the rest of your life? What's the level of influence that you want to have in the rest of your life? How do you want relationships to flow in the rest of your life? How do you want to be remembered when your life is over? What do you do? How do you do until you take your last breath? I know I lost some of y'all right there. I know I did. I know I did. I know I did. Because these are not the that we think of, because we're in the rat race of life. We're trying to be all of this. We're trying to be all of that. We're trying to accomplish all of that. We're trying to earn all of this. We're trying to earn all of that. But what we have to come to terms with, and this is so important for us to do, is to recognize that life is a lot more than stuff and things. Life is a lot more than accumulating and saying, look at what I have, and this is mine's, and that's mine's, and mine. Because now we live in an age where the only thing that people think about is mine. I want this, and I want that, and I want to do this, and I want to accomplish that. And there's nothing wrong with some of those things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to have some things in life and to enjoy your life. But my question to you is there not more to life than stuff and things and accumulations? Okay? All right? I wish I had somebody that understood what I just said. Erica, did you get that? Nancy, Christine, I want us. Hey, Pee Wee, how are you? I need us to know that God gives us choices. Can I get you to do something for me, please? Hey, Laverne, how are you? Can you put in the chat for just a second? Barbara, bless you for being here with us. God gives us choices. If you could put that in the chat, that would be fantabulous if you could do that, because he gives us choices. He gives us choices on how we want to live, and our life is predicated upon the choices we make. Is there anybody out here that wish you'd have made some different choices? Are there some people out here that sure enough wish you'd have never went down that road? You would have never been involved in that relationship. You would have never met that person, married that person, loved on that person, hated whatever the case may be. Okay, that includes y'all on YouTube. And so in the midst of that, have you ever said to yourself, if I could do it all over again, if I could live my life differently? And one thing that I've learned, and I need us to get this because this is overwhelmingly important. The one thing I've learned is many of the decisions that I have made in life have been predicated upon faulty or misinformation. Okay? That's right. Yeah, put that in there for me. God gives us choices. And so, even though we understand this is Israel and we understand clearly, but since we've been engrafted, we need to understand that the choices also belong to us. See, I have set before you today life and good, death and evil. Doesn't that sound familiar? Uh-huh. Doesn't that sound familiar? If I'm not mistaken, if you go back to the Genesis account, you will see quite clearly that God said, everything that is here, everything that you see, everything in this garden is at your beck and call. There's not a fruit, there's no vegetation here that you can't have and participate in, but I'm giving you a choice. The choice is that there is one tree in the midst. Think about this. Out of all that God gave them, he only restricted them to one tree. And the very thing that was restricted was the very thing that they went after. He says, I have set before you, Deacon Thomas, I have set before you life and good, death and evil. And so, Sherry, this is important because somewhere along the line, we have to learn to make the appropriate and the right choices. But in order for right choices to be made, we got to make sure that we have correct and accurate information. I know I'm losing some of y'all. I know I am, because if we would have just done something a little bit different, maybe we would be happier. Maybe we wouldn't have as many regrets. Maybe we would really be enjoying life on a whole different plateau than where we are right now. Look at what he says. Look at what he says. Look at what he says. He says, I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways and keep his commandments, his statutes, and his judgments, that you may live and multiply. Now let's look at the progression. Let's look at the progression, okay? I want us to see this because each one is connected, because you can't do one until you have accomplished the other, okay? Hey, Pat, how are you? Look at what it says. He says, I command you today to love the Lord your God. That's the first thing. Because guess what? Can I tell y'all something? Can I tell you something? Love is a powerful motivator that will cause you to do things you said you would never do. When you love somebody or you love something, there is absolutely, completely, and totally nothing you will not do to have it, to keep it, or to possess it. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. Am I telling the truth? I just need to know if there are a couple of people out here that can say, yeah, you know what? That's what made me do what I did, was because I loved them, or I loved it. Because it might not even be a person. It could be an item. It could be a car. It could be some jewelry. It could be all kinds of things. And when you love something, number one, you take care of it, you cherish it, you display it, you let it be known in no uncertain terms how precious it is to you. And God is saying, in order for you to know how to make appropriate decisions, the first thing you've got to learn how to do is agape me. You've got to love me unconditionally, even when, here we go, even when it may appear that I don't love you. Because how many times have we had some moments in our life, Winnie, when it appeared that God really wasn't on our side, that God really didn't have our best interests at heart, that God really wasn't working on our behalf, that God seemed to be overwhelmingly distant, and Veronica, it seems like God is just so far away, Sherry, from my present situation. I mean, think about this. Think about this. Have we not all been challenged by what appears to be an absence of God's love, God's concern, God's care, God's protection? Okay? Because, Elder Pamela, love is powerful. Love has destroyed kingdoms. Love has built kingdoms. Love has done all kinds of things, okay? Love has caused treachery to take place, and love has caused a flourishing of enjoying life. Love is a powerful tool. And so before you can get to the rest of this, and when I say this, I know I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway. When you love the Lord your God, then you can walk in his ways. Okay? Then you can't walk in the ways of someone. I'm going to add a little bit more to it. That not only do you love, but are in love with. Laverne, did you catch that? This is important. This is important because we want to do all of these spectacular things, but we ain't loving God. Okay? Here's what he says. He says, when you love me, you'll walk in my ways and keep my commandments. When you love me. Okay? Have any of you ever had a job you really loved? Now, I know for some people, the job that they had, it was a drudgery. It was terrible. You really didn't want to be bothered. It was like pulling teeth without Novocaine in the morning. And it was like, oh my God, I got to go to this place. Oh my God, I don't feel like being bothered with this. Oh, I'm just losing my mind. But when you have a job you love, the love for that work causes you to be early, causes you to work harder, causes you to have a sense of perfection because it's in your heart to see the productivity that you can provide because of that job. I done lost you. Let's go a little bit further. In relationships, when you love a woman or you love a man, love is a sacrifice of giving, not getting. Giving, not taking. Giving and not seeing how much more you can get. And it works on both spectrums. God says, I want you to love me, because if you love me, then guess what you'll do? You'll walk in my ways when you love me. Has not love made you do some old crazy things you ain't never thought you'd ever do, but love is the motivator behind it. And so he says, you'll keep my commandments, my statutes, and my judgments. Why? Because there's a multiplication factor attached to it. Okay? Do you love your job even when you complain? And so in the midst of this, he said that you may live and multiply, and the Lord your God will bless you in the land that you go to possess. Now, as they get ready to go possess the land, we understand exactly what that is. But here's the thing that is so powerful. He says, I will cause generational blessings to fall on you. I will bless you. I will bless your children. I will bless them to prosper and to grow and to multiply and to be everything that God, has preordained to be. That's a powerful point in case you missed it, because sometimes we have expectations outside of God's created expectation. Am I preaching, Kim? We want our children to be what we think they should be, not realizing that the creator of our children, I'm going to get in trouble, just may have a better outcome or a better design than ours. One of my grandsons, which is Micah, says that he wants to be a barber, and because we're in a college flow now where everybody got to go to college, But he said this is what he wanted to do. So guess what his granddad did? His grandfather went out. Y'all gonna catch this in a second. Went out and bought him some barber tools. Guess what he done started doing? He done started cutting his daddy's hair, my son. Now you have to understand, Kim Floyd, my son is funny about his hair. And so because it's his heart's desire, I gave him the basic basement tools needed in order for him to get started, because guess what? It's in his heart to love what he wants to do. I didn't say, oh man, you ought to quit that and go to college and become an engineer. No. I said, where his heart is, I'm going to help him get where he needs to be. Because my desires for my grandchildren may not be what God created them to be. Did you hear what I said, Juanita? This is important, Janet. We got to get this, because we fuss at them and you ain't never going. I don't know why you doing something. Okay, maybe the reason that our kids do some of the things they do is because they have parents who aren't happy. Woo! Jesus. They have parents who aren't happy, and rather than supporting them in what they believe God has created them to do, we discourage them. But when you love God, you keep his commandments and his statutes. And when you do so, God will, my wife and I are great grandparents. As a matter of fact, the latest great grandchild is upstairs. The one that I asked y'all to pray for. I haven't seen him. I can't see him. And the reason I can't see him is because I have COVID. Because I have COVID, I am restricted to the basement. I am restricted in my home. I cannot do certain things because I refuse to contaminate my wife, who ran from me the other day, until she needed me for something. My granddaughter, who just had the baby, and the great grand, who just got out of the hospital not too long ago. So I have to have discipline because of love for them, to make sure that I don't contaminate them. That's what love does. Love don't turn you into a bulldozer. I'm gonna do it. No. Love is a giver. Veronica, I know you love your job. Okay? When you love what you do. See what I'm saying, Ayana? I love being a pastor. I love pastoring Union Baptist. There is no doubt in my mind whatsoever, because there's nothing within the will of God I will not do for that church. have not done for the people of God. Even for the people of God that don't like me, I still do what I need to do. Why? Because it's love. Love will motivate you. Look at what it says. But now, in the midst of this, you also got to remember that there's another side to the coin. I just want to see if y'all with me. I want to see if y'all with me. Here's what he says. God says, but if your heart turns away, oh, y'all got to catch this, because love is in the heart. If your heart turns away so that you do not hear, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm about to shout. I'm about to shout. I'm about to shout. About to shout. You better hold on. I'm about to shout. I'm about to shout. I'm about to here's what he's saying. When you quit loving, you also quit hearing. Cecile. Oh my God. Oh my God. And so he says, if your heart turns away so that you do not hear, because love opens you to the things of God. That turn away so you don't hear and draw away and worship other gods and serve them. I pronounce to you today that you will perish. Oh, Minister Marcia, Erica, listen to this. This is going to be a tough nut to crack and a hard pill to swallow. Has something died in your life because you refuse to listen? Because your love for God has changed? Am I teaching this? I just need to know. Has something died because your love is no longer there? You're no longer dutiful. You're no longer faithful. You're no longer this. You're no longer that. You're no longer the other. He says, if you draw away and start worshiping other gods. Let's talk about some other gods. I'm busy. God. This is the only day I have. God. I'm too tired. God. Oh, here we go. He says, when you find other gods to work, my children, God, my husband, God, my wife, God, when you turn away, he says you will perish, and you shall not prolong your days in the land which you crossed over the Jordan to go and possess. I will call heaven and earth as witnesses against you. Lord Jesus. God says, when you turn on me, when you turn away from me, when you decide you don't want to be bothered with me, I am going to cause heaven and earth to come to court on you as witnesses against you simply because you don't love me like you used to. You won't live long. You'll have trauma. And then I'm going to set before you, he says, all these things, heaven and earth will be witnesses to the fact that the love you used to have doesn't exist for me anymore. The Bible says you turned away from your first love. You decided that loving something else was more important than loving me. You decided that being with somebody else was more important than being with me. And I'm not talking about male-female sex relationships. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you have found all of these other things that are more important to me. You don't study like you used to. Don't pray like you used to. Don't read like you used to. Don't devotion like you used to. And the reason that things are so dry for you right now is because you have not spent time with God to prepare you for anything. I'm trying to get you to see it, because see, it's one thing to spew out of scripture. It's another thing to be living what you're spewing out. So all of a sudden things are not working out well. You wondering why there's so much trauma in your family. That you wonder why there's so much craziness going on. You want to know why your kids is out of control and your kids ain't got good sense. It could be predicated upon the fact that you ain't loving God like you used to. Can I let that maturate and saturate for just a moment? He said, I'm going to bring heaven and earth as witnesses against you, that I have set before you today life and death, blessings and cursing. Therefore, here's what God says. Yeah, and man, I hope you can see this. This is what God is saying. Please choose life. No matter how dumb you get, no matter how crazy you get, no matter how many times you fall off the wagon, please choose life. I don't know how many mistakes you made, how many times you fell down. Please choose life, because the choice you make is going to have an effect on generations behind you. Your descendants will choose life because they see you choose life. Your children will choose life when they see you choose life. Your children and grandchildren will walk and live a different way because they have chose life, because they saw you choose life. Okay? And this is something that we got to see, and we wonder why some things are crazy as they are in our family. It's because we made a choice. Yeah, listen, Gladys, uh oh, oh God. And I said this was going to be difficult for some people, because for the most part this is a convicting moment, because some of the things that could be falling apart in your life is because you just chose bad. And I'm not talking about a man or a woman. I'm talking about things in life. You just said, no, I don't care what anybody thinks, anybody say. I'm going to do what I want to do. You made a choice. And the choice you made may not be producing life. I don't know about anybody else, but for however many years the Lord is going to let me have, I don't want them to be miserable. I don't want me to be bent out of shape. I don't want to be a drudgery to my family or anything else like that. I want, oh glory. I want, when I step in the room, that my family goes, oh, there he is. Tell you something. I'll tell you something. We went someplace, I ain't going to tell you what it was. And when I walked into the room, everything else changed. The verbiage changed. They caught themselves. Whoop, whoop. Sorry. Because I have chose life. And Cora, guess what that means? I'm not going to get mad like I used to. I'm not going to cuss folk out like I used to. I'm not going to go off on people like I used to. I'm not going to be nasty to people like I used to, because I've chose life. Because when I choose life, I'm also showing my children how to choose. Let may love the Lord your God, and that you may obey his voice, and that you may cling to him. Oh, that you will let him know in no uncertain terms that I ain't letting go of you because you've been too good to me. What's that song out there? Uh, I ain't going. You the best. Jennifer Hudson sang it, but somebody else sang it before that. She sang this song that I ain't living without you, and you gonna love me. You think about this. I want to cling to God so strong and so consistently that I can hear his heartbeat. And when I can hear his heart, I can also hear his ways. Why? That I may obey his voice and that I will cling to him, for he is your life and the length of your days. How you live life is predicated on how well you cling. Mm, 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 mm. He says that you may dwell in the land which the Lord has swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them. Here's what he's saying. If you would choose life, I didn't say that good. Listen, I didn't say that life would not come without challenges. I didn't say that. Jennifer Holiday and Jennifer Hudson. Thank you, Sherry. I knew them Jennifers was singing that song. Dream Girls, yes. Here's, Lord, please, Father, let them get this if they don't get anything else. For many of us, we're too old to be clowning. God has brought us through too many things to continue to live miserable. Joy and happiness is not predicated upon bank accounts, but predicated on the fact that he looked beyond my fault. And because he meets my needs, I cling to him. Did y'all hear me? I want, when I take my last breath, and they get ready to put me in a box, and a couple of weeks later, they'll forget all about me. I don't want them to say, oh, he was a great pastor, great preacher, great teacher. No. I want especially my family to say that there was a man who chose life. Is he the best thing that ever happened to you? If he is, it's time to make a choice. And I understand that sometimes these choices are difficult. I understand that sometimes these choices are challenging. Yeah, I got to change something. Lord have mercy. Ain't this about nothing? I just can't win for losing here for some reason. We have to make sure that we make the appropriate choices in our lives, because generations behind us are watching us. And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't want people to talk about where we lived and the cars we drive and all that kind of stuff. I want to talk. I want them to say, you know what? I saw him live life to the fullest. He enjoyed life. Yes, in the Lord. In the Lord. I'm not talking about in the world. I'm talking about in the Lord. Yes, he did. Lived life to its fullest. If the Lord so leads you to sow into the ministry, it's up on the screen. You can give through Givelify, PayPal, Cash App. You can call the church 330-746-1217, whichever way you want to do it. Drop a check off. Just be a blessing to the ministry. Be a blessing to the be a blessing to the ministry and the work of ministry that we're trying to provide for people, so that we can continue to do what God has called us and preordained for us to do. Okay. So listen, pray for us. I'm letting you know. Yes, I do have COVID. Yes, I do. I tested yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you, and I have no problem with it. It doesn't make me any less holy or anything else like that. I have been an advocate for making sure that people don't contract it, and if they do, at least they're vaccinated enough to combat it. And I thought it was a sinus infection. That's what I thought it was. I wasn't thinking anything else about it until all of a sudden I began to recognize that, the things I normally do to get rid of the sinus infection weren't working. And so I said, self, let me just go ahead, because I got tests all over the place. And I tested myself, and I came back positive. And where did it come from? How did I get it? I have absolutely no clue. I was fine. There was nothing wrong when we got back from the state convention. There was nothing wrong Sunday, but Monday night was when it began. And so I have the medication that they have prescribed for me. I'm going to start taking that tonight. I feel pretty good. I'm I really do. I'm not bent out of shape. Somebody put, oh God, here we go. Okay, gotcha. I just blocked them. Somebody's always trying to get in on what God is doing. Isn't that amazing? I got them. Lord have mercy. And so I'm fine. I'm isolated. I'm in the bat cave. I'm in the man cave. This is where I'm gonna be. I should be okay by Sunday. But I'm gonna do what I need to do. There is a XBB variant out here, and it is going to be treacherous than anything else we have seen. And so I'm asking you, if you have not gotten vaccinated, please do so. When I talk to the nurse and the doctor and the nurse practitioner, all of them, okay, you know what I'm talking about, Debbie? We're praying because Debbie came down with COVID as well. And there's a few others whose names I'm not going to mention. If they want to mention their names, they can do so. But they have come down with COVID, and so it's sneaky, and it can be treacherous. They're saying, and the articles that I have read are saying that by mid-November, there's going to be an unbelievable outbreak that's going to take place, because most of the United States has had their initial shot and one booster, which is nowhere near enough to keep you from getting critically ill. Okay, all right. And so, I'm doing what I need to do. And so I'm really, they're shocked. They're like, wow. And so I got my stuff right over here, and I'm gonna start taking it tonight. And they told me within 24 hours I will see a miraculous difference. And yeah, Kim, we didn't have the technology, we didn't have any of that stuff back when Mike contracted it. So I'm going to make sure that I do. And here's something I'm going to say, and I'm going to let y'all go. Some of y'all just quit being so hard and go ahead and do what you need to do. If you contracted, guess what? You just contracted it. I don't know why people are so bent out of shape over the fact that they've contracted COVID. It's eventually it's going to hit all of us. The key is how you going to live with it until that virus leaves your body. So listen, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna sit back and watch me some TV. My granddaughter, I believe, is upstairs cooking. Can you believe that? And so I'm gonna sit down here and watch me some television and relax. And see what the end's going to be. Listen, I love y'all with the love of Jesus Christ. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Okay, two things. On the 29th, I believe, of this month is going to be our trunk or treat. And so I will get some more information out to you on that Saturday. I don't know if it's 2 to 4 or 4 to 6. I have to look and see what the time is for that. And then on the 31st, from 6 to 8 p.m. is going to be the core team's political forum. I don't expect everybody to be on it because it's a short notice, but I believe that there will be enough people on there to share what's what when it comes down to the issues and the situations that are going on to keep us informed as to what their heart's desires are when it comes down to political aspirations. So with that being said, I've kept you long enough. Y'all take care. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you. Continue to pray for Union because the sickness and stuff is going through the church. And we want you to stay safe, get vaccinated, social distance, wash your hands, and wear that mask. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. Good. Get that fourth one because I'm on number 5. I ain't playing with this stuff. Y'all have a great evening in the Lord. May God bless you. May He keep you is our prayer.